All right. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Jeremiah. Welcome to Flow and Go. Today, 2 blocks will be a helpful thing to have, not necessary, but helpful. And we are going to get started in a child's pose. So let's just go ahead and come onto the mat. Let your knees go nice and wide. Reach your arms nice and long. So today we're doing a lot of focus on shoulders. So since we're focusing on the shoulders, maybe even if you have the blocks close by, put your arms on the blocks as you're in that child's pose to elevate, to start to open up a little bit more to the chest and the front of the shoulders. And if you have that playlist good, hit play if you'd like. But give yourself a moment here to just settle in. Start to find your breath. Start to feel into the body. A lot of what we're going to be exploring in today's practice is sensation and exploring what feels right for your body, what may not feel right for your body. We're also going to be trying a few things that are maybe outside the box. So start to take a deep breath in, filling in from low belly, breathing all the way into the base of the throat, expanding, then exhale, let it out. Doing that a few more times, inhaling and expanding, and then go ahead and let it out. Giving yourself the opportunity here to breathe in and breathe out. Deep breath in, long breath out. On your next inhale here, start to walk your hands over towards the left side of the mat, reaching out through your right hand. Reach, reach, reach through both arms. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, exhale, let it out. Slowly walk yourself back to the center and walk over towards the left, reaching both hands. Reaching out, maybe tending up onto your left fingers this time. And slowly walk back through center. From this child's pose, just walk up into a tabletop. So press into the shins, get the shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. Let's go through a few cat-cow warm this time. So as you inhale, drop the belly, roll the shoulders back, pinch your ribs together as you look up. Then as you exhale, push the mat away, arch the spine. Start to flow with your breath here. Inhale through cow. Exhale through cat. And starting to close the eyes. Start to feel into the body. Noticing how things are moving. Noticing how things might be feeling. Then after about 2 or more rounds, we're going to come back to neutral tabletop. And then as we get back to neutral tabletop, we're going to do a thread needle flow. So we're not going to come all the way down onto the mat and we can thread needle. We're going to hover. So we're going to inhale, left arm up, reach up, open the chest. Then as you exhale, reach towards the right, hover, keep reaching out towards the right, then inhale, lift back up. Then as you exhale, reach and hover, inhale, lift back up. And just notice here how the shoulder starts to move, how the shoulder blade is moving on the spine. As you take this with your breath about 2 more times. So as you exhale and you reach out to the side, notice the shoulder blade kind of moves to the side of the body. Then as you inhale, reach up, notice how it starts to move towards the other shoulder blade, starting to pinch them together. Starting to get familiar with the motions of the shoulder blade, we come back to neutral. Let's go to the other side. Inhale, right hand up, reach, reach, reach. Then as you exhale, twist and reach towards the left. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, we reach. So now notice again on this right side how the shoulder blade pinches together on the inhale. Exhale, we reach, it starts to separate coming onto the side of the body. And take this about 2 more rounds at your pace. Again, warming up through the shoulders. Great work here. Then find your way back to center. And from here, we're just going to look forward, walk the hands forward. We're just going to lift the hips enough just to walk the feet to a forward fold top of the mat. Maybe this is where a block comes in handy to hold on to. Maybe you hug on opposite elbows and you hover here. Whatever works for you. And just keep finding that breath, that steady in, that steady out. Beautiful work here. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, hands come towards the mat. Bend generously through those knees. As you inhale, slowly roll yourself up to standing. Arms reach high overhead. Palms touch and exhale, hands come to heart center. And close the eyes if you haven't already as you begin to set an intention for today's practice, the Sankalpa. Let yourself maybe find an intention around just being observant to the body. Maybe you want to have an intention around just being aware of the breath. But as you have that intention set, begin to open the eyes. Reach the hands nice and tall. Then as you exhale, take a forward fold. Going through a few sun salutations here. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale here, plant the hands, step back to a plank pose. Shoulders of the wrists, heels drive back, core engaged. Then as we exhale here, lower all the way to the ground. Inhale here for low cobra, lifting just the head, neck, and shoulders, hugging elbows together, look forward. Exhale, come back down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift just the chest, head, neck, shoulders. Exhale, come back down. Minimal effort in the hands here. Use the low back to lift. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come back down. Top your nose, tuck your toes, lift up and back for downward facing dog. In this first downward facing dog, take the opportunity to set yourself up, feeling the hands and feet pressing down. Thumb and forefinger of each hand is really pressing down as you push back. Get a diagonal lift to the hips here as you maybe pedal out the feet. Maybe you really try to lift the tailbone high, pressing the heels down, and energetically try to spin the heels slightly outward, finding comfort in this pose. Set yourself up. Find what works for you here, and we're going to sort of break down some things later on. So this pose will be happening a lot. Our focus pose is downward facing dog. And then our focus this week for our theme is Shani. Shani is one of the most popular of the Hindu gods. In Vedic astrology is the representation of Saturn, but also Shani is the god of justice. So taking a deep breath in, start to look forward. Exhale, feet travel to the top. And give yourself a moment to hover, maybe sway left and right. One of the things Shani is known for is bringing about bad things in your life to act as lessons, not to just cause havoc and chaos, but to generate something in your life to cause you to find change. So a catalyst. So we're going to go through today, we're going to try to find catalysts in the practice for change. So as we start to inhale, find a halfway lift, reach against the shins, reach the head forward. Exhale, we fold. Take a deep bend in the knees here, roll yourself back into standing, arms reach high. Exhale, hands come through heart center, and then find your Tadasana mountain pose, palms by the side. Beautiful here. Going through more sun salutations to finish strong, we're going to go through the sun C now. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we find a halfway lift here, reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale, plant the hands, your left foot goes back 3 to 5 feet. Dropping that knee, reach up high in Anjaneyasana. Awesome work here. Reach those hands nice and tall. Then as you exhale, press those hips forward and down, cactus the arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, press back down. There we go. Inhale, reach up. Last time, press down and hold. Holding your left foot forward, right hip back. Then we're going to hinge at the waist. Left hand drops to the mat. Right hand lifts up for that twisted lunge. Now notice the shoulders here. We are pushing down through our left hand as we reach up to the right. Separate through the shoulders. Breathing in. Breathing out. Deep breath in. Exhale, both hands start to come down to frame that front foot as we start to flex through the right toes, finding our half split. So left hip pulls forward, right hip pulls back. Put weight into that right heel as you push your chin towards the shin. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Exhale, lunge back forward. Plant those hands, step back to downward facing dogs. Adding in a little bit of nuance here. So take your hands and bring them about shoulder distance apart if you haven't already. Thumbs and forefinger are really pressing down. As you press your thumb and forefinger down into the mat, feel how your forearms are to fire up those muscles. Now push through the arms, diagonally back. Lift through the hips, shine the tailbone high. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale, left foot lifts high. Exhale, bring through between the hands. Drop that right knee down as we take Anjaneyasana. This side, reach up. Inhale, reach a little bit taller. Lift out of the pelvis. Then as you exhale, press those hips forward and down. Awesome here. Reach up. Exhale, press back down. Great job. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, press down and hold. Pulling your right hip forward, left hip back. As you drop your right hand to the mat, left hand lifts up, twisted lunge. Once more, feeling the separation of the shoulder blades on the back, pushing that right hand down, lift through your left. Then as we exhale, both hands frame that front foot, peel the left toes towards the face, right hip pulls forward, left hip pulls back, shin towards the shin, Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in. As we exhale, lunge back forward. Take that back foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Maybe we sway again here. But slowly find stillness. As you take a generous bend in those knees, roll yourself back up to standing, arms reach high. Exhale, hands come to heart center, and then to your side, Tadasana. Great work here. We're going to start to layer on a sun B here, or sun B variation, to get to warm up those legs a little bit more. So we're going to bring our feet hip distance apart. So hip distance could be 2 fist width, or if you take your heel to the arch and spin out in the ball joint of the foot, that's going to be a natural ruler for your body to be about hip distance apart. So your feet are going to be a good natural ruler here for that. So let's go ahead here. Flex through the hips, arms reach high, Utkatasana, chair pose. Imagine there's a block right here between your legs and there's a rubber band. So you're trying to squeeze that block in and squeeze that rubber band out, reach through the arms. Firing up the adductors and abductors at the same time, breathing in. Exhale, take a fold. Great work here. Inhale, finding a halfway lift, reach the head forward. Exhale, plant those hands, step back to a plank pose. Shoulders to the wrists, heels are driving back, core is engaged. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, exhale, lower to the ground. As we inhale, find that low cobra, lifting the head, neck, and shoulders, breathing in, looking forward. Exhale, come down, tap your nose, tuck your toes, lift up and back for downward facing dog. Once more, taking the feet about hip distance, maybe a little bit wider. Thumb and forefinger of the hands are really pressing down. Feel the forearm fire up. Press the chest back diagonally. You're trying to push down the arms. Now, begin to internally rotate your shoulders. We often say to externally rotate. So instead, we're going to internally rotate. So if you're not sure what that looks like, look forward. Internal means this way. So we're trying to bring the shoulders in. External is this way. So try to really press your thumb and forefinger down, spiral that inward, see how that feels. You want to have that opening of the back of the neck here as you keep pressing down through the arms. As you internally rotate, press your thumb and finger down, press through the arms, get long in the spine. Take a bend in the knees if you need to find a longer spine. Deep breath in, long breath out. Beautiful here. As we inhale, take your gaze forward. Exhale, feet travel to the top, straight to chair pose. Dropping through the hips, arms reach high. Imagine we're squeezing that block together, squeezing that rubber band out. Great work here, deep breath in. Then as we exhale, straighten the legs, Tadasana, mountain pose. Great work here. Maybe shimmy out the hips, shimmy out the legs. We're going to layer on our flow here. So this is going to be a fairly short flow. The goal here is to, though, you can add on or subtract, your choice. But go ahead and find chair pose once more. As we find that chair pose, weight in the heels, arms reach high. Start to load all of the weight into your right heel. All the way in that right leg. Pick your left leg up and back 3 to 5 feet. Thunderbolt. Great work here. All the way is in that right heel. Inhale, lift it for a high press punch. As we exhale, 45 degrees, thunderbolt. There we go. Last time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, press the weight down at 45 degrees. Arms can come behind you if your arms are tired. Breathing in. Breathing out. As we drop our left hand down to the ground, right hand lifts up for that twisted lunge. Once more, feel the separation of the shoulder blades as we bring our gaze down to the mat. Take your left arm underneath the nose. Step your right leg behind you, coming through to your side plank, Vashisthasana. Lift through the hips here, press through your left hand, reach to your right. Breathing in. Feel free to drop to your left knee if you need for supported, always an option, breathing in. Then as we exhale, take ourselves to a reverse table. So bring your spiraling back open. We're just kind of rolling over carefully, with the mindful of your shoulders, coming into reverse table. Fingertips are going to face the heels. Heels press down, lift the hips, reverse table. From here, just go ahead and come down to a seat. This is where blocks may be handy for you. So under these blocks, I have really long arms, so this would naturally work for me. But with the blocks, it makes it easier. We're going to do a hovering table flow. So you want to make sure your blocks are stable. You want to find your reverse table. Knees are over the heels. Squeeze the glutes to lift up. Then as you exhale, you're going to swing the hips back, come onto the heels, lift through the core. Then inhale, lift back up. Exhale, swing back and hover. Inhale, lift up. Reverse table. We're going to do that 4 rounds. After that 4th round, we'll come down to a seat. So from here, let's together. Inhale, lift up, reverse table. As we exhale, swing back, lift. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, swing back and lift. Inhale, reverse table. Take this 2 more times at your rate. With your breath. Then we'll meet in a seat as you are ready. Beautiful work here. Take your right leg long, bend your left knee in. Option here to stay just like this, or feeling free to cross that leg over, your choice, depending on if you want to get a glute stretch or not. So we're going to hug our right arm around this left leg. Left hand reaches up and over, spiraling, coming to a seated twist. Pressing down through the sit bones, lifting up through the crown of the head. Think length in the spine here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathe out. Inhale, gaze comes back forward. Let both hands start to come back. We're going to take this left leg, we're going to separate it now. We're going to make sure there's about 1 fist distance between the foot and the leg. And we're going to inhale, reach the hands high. We're going to come into a random forward fold. It's going to be a little difficult. So you want to exhale, fold down, but keep this knee, here I'll face you for this one. You want to keep this knee pressing into the body. Don't let it come out to the side, keep hugging it in. Maybe you hold on the foot, ankle, or shin, whatever you got accessible to. And just breathe. Then slowly inhale, lift back up. Let both legs go long. We're just going to go 1 quarter turn. We're just going to spin into a plank pose. So we're going to do a little bit of spinning exercise style on the mat as we just keep spinning the body around. And then from this plank, drop to your knees. Bring these blocks back underneath if you've got them. We're going to work with downward facing dog on blocks. So if you don't have blocks, that's a-okay. You can do the downward facing dog, just listen to the cues I'm going to provide. So make sure you have your blocks stable, touch your toes, lift the hips, press the mat, downward facing dog. From here, again, make sure the arms are about shoulder distance apart, maybe slightly wider. Pressing the thumb or forefinger down with both hands. Pressing the chest down towards the thighs and push the arms, get a diagonal lift of the hips. Maybe this helps you get a little more lift to get into the heels closer to the ground. Keep pressing through the arms, now internally rotate through the shoulders. Keep pressing through the arms to get some diagonal lift through the hips. Internally rotate through the shoulders and see how this feels for you. Do you feel stable? If you do, stay here. If you don't, find stability by slightly rotating the shoulders to however it feels most comfortable. Deep breath in, long breath out. Inhale, take your gaze forward. Exhale, feet travel to the top, straight through chair pose. Going straight to side number 2. Load all the weight into your left heel. Shoot your right leg behind you, thunderbolt. Taking it on the other side. Inhale, lift back up, high pressing. Exhale, we come down. Finding our way to our thunderbolt once more. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, thunderbolt last time. Maybe arms come behind you, shoulders are tired. Deep breath in. As you exhale, right hand to the mat, left hand lifts up, twisted lunge. Keep hugging this left knee in towards the midline, breathing in. Breathe out. Take your gaze towards the mat. Let your right hand come a little more towards the middle. As your left leg steps back, Vashisthasana side plank. Lifting through the hips, driving it on up. Left hand reaches nice and tall, breathing in. Exhale here. Deep breath in. Exhale, both hands to the mat, regular plank. And from this plank pose, all we're going to do is we're going to draw our right hand to the left side of the mat, spinning back towards the side plank, and just go ahead and rotate open, coming to a seat. We're going to find our reverse cable in just a moment. Blocks are handy again. Again, play with the heights here. So if you are on the shorter side, maybe this will work for you. Taller side, maybe you need a little bit higher. I'm going to do it in the highest setting this time, so it gives me some extra lift. I find it's a little more helpful. So go ahead and bend those knees in and lift up, reverse table. Make sure the blocks are nice and stable because we're going to put some weight on them in a minute. So as we inhale, lift up, chin tuck towards the chest. Then as we exhale, swing back, finding this hovering position. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, we come back. Inhale, lift back up. This time we're going to exhale, come back and hover. We're going to hold. Notice this position. Notice how you're leaning forward here. Memorize this. We'll come back here a little bit. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, come back down. Last time, hovering table. And slowly lower down. Great work. So let's go ahead and do a little tricep work here. So go ahead and bring our blocks to the mat to the highest setting. So go ahead, walk yourself so that way the blocks are behind your hips. Mine, they're about 3 inches, 4 inches. And we're going to get a little bit of tricep work here. So from here, notice how my shoulders are internally rotated. My shoulders naturally do this. So just go ahead and bring the shoulders back, pinch your elbows together. From here, I'm going to press down into my arms. I'm going to lift up. I'm using my arms mostly. My legs are just for balance. Exhale, lower, but hover. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, lower, hover your butt about a few inches, push back up. Exhale, lower, a few inches, push back up. Exhale, lower, and stop. Shake out your arms. So that's pretty intense on this area, isn't it? So we're going to do that one more time. Really trying to fire through the back through the triceps. So option here is to come all the way down like I am right here. You can push up, come back down if you need to, or you get option to come up, come down halfway, make it a little bit shorter, or come all the way down, tap, push, push. But the goal here is to don't let the elbows flare out. Keep them tight to the body. You want to have the elbows pointing straight behind you. So as we inhale, take 5 rounds. Inhale, push up. Exhale, down 1. Inhale, up. Exhale, tap 2. Inhale, push back up. Tap 3. Inhale, up. Tap 4. Inhale, up. Tap 5 and stop. Reach the arms in front of you here. Let the legs go long. Reach the hands high. Then as you exhale, it's round the spine. Reach the arms forward. Coming into Paschimottanasana. Maybe holding on to your big toe, the foot, the ankle, the shin, whatever you have most accessible here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Let's go ahead and stretch the shoulders a little bit. So we've been doing a lot of shoulder work. So let's go ahead and bring our legs a little closer together. I'm going to cross my right hand to my left foot or to my left ankle, whatever you've got accessible. Left hand crosses over to the right leg. Now from here, I'm going to notice my shoulders are like, okay, I feel something at the top of the back. I feel like a little bit of separation. I'm going to breathe into the top of the back. Then I'm going to try to imagine I'm trying to press the gas with both feet, press the feet forward, and try to lean backwards. Separate, feel that stretch, breathe in. Exhale, release. Come back up. Let's go ahead and just reverse across the hands. Maybe we can reach up nice and tall, and as we exhale, hands to foot, ankle, or shin, whatever is accessible to you. We want to start to press the gas forward with the feet. Lean the chest backwards. Feel the separation at the top of the back. Breathing in, breathing out, and release. Maybe we do a little bit of this. All right. From here, we did our flow. Let's go ahead and spin ourselves over. Come back to our plank. And from this plank pose, take a deep breath in. Exhale, drop the knees. And let's go ahead and come back to a seated position. All right, we're going to bring our hands behind us, clasp them. So try to get here some separation between your sacrum and the hands. Roll the shoulders back. I'm going to come up to knee so you can see me a little better. We're going to lift up, squeeze shoulders together, hug the hands together. All right. From here, try to keep yourself lift up as high as you can. Lift up as high as you can. Feel the stretch opening at the top of the chest, breathing in. Then as we exhale, I'm going to widen my knees a little bit. I'm going to lean forward, keep my back nice and straight as long as I can. Forehead touches the ground. Don't let your weight dump into the forehead and back to the neck. And just let your hands hover overhead. I'm hovering my forehead here so I don't like drop all my weight into my head. Deep breath in. Then as you exhale, release the hands nice and slow. Don't slingshot them down to the ground and push yourself back up. All right. So how are our shoulders feeling? Okay. So now we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to work on Logasana or earring pose. 2 blocks are really handy here. So I'm going to face you for this one. So this is a pose that people do all the time and you're like, oh wow, it looks so great. There's a lot that happens here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have my hands, my blocks on the highest. So just watch what I do here. Simply observe. Logasana is pressing down through the arms. We lift through the core, and we try to bring our pubic bone to our ribs. We crunch in, and we hover. We're dangling. So we push down, we lift, look forward, dangle. There's a lot happening there. Lots of options as well. So this is a pose that I, for the longest time, couldn't manage to figure out how to turn my core on. It took a while. Option here is this. Hands plant down. We push down, and maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you try to just lift the knees up. Just lift the knees to the chest, and you try this a few times. That's gonna start getting the engagement here of learning how to turn your core on. Option 2. Push down, lift the knees, push into one of the feet. So if you notice, my feet are hooked here. So I'm just pressing down to the tops of the feet, and I'm going to pull my knees in. That's option 2. Option 3, push down and hover. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. About a minute, give or take, of playtime there, and figuring out what works for you. So I'm going to come a little bit closer so I can actually see. Beautiful here. Awesome. And if you have any furry friends at home, make sure they don't slip under your knees as you do this before you come back down. I can tell you if I did this at home, my cat would be under my legs within a second and I would squish her. Great. Let's try one more time. And the last time we try it, try to hold for 3 rounds of breath. I see the shaking, yep, good.
And let's go ahead and release. There we go. So if you have foam blocks at home, this could be a little more challenging because they tend to squish and slowly move over time. If you have foam blocks, I would actually recommend, if you have a dictionary at home, if you're old school like me, I have 3 dictionaries. You can grab dictionaries. Otherwise, like we've moved so far in the 21st century, we don't even have phone books anymore. So like I was like, oh, those are great options too. So just find something that's a little more firm. Maybe even like giant like cans of stew or something, like you can try that as well. So let's go ahead and find downward facing dog. Go ahead and come to where your hands are really grounded down, your feet are pressing back. Find downward facing dog. Now once more, trying to find the minutia here of pressing your thumb and forefinger down. Push down through the arms, get a diagonal lift through the spine. Feel the tailbone lift. And from here, take your gaze forward and slowly bring your feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Bend through the knees here, roll yourself all the way up to standing, arms reach high. Then exhale, hands to the heart center, mountain pose. So we're gonna go through, do a little bit more with the shoulders. We're gonna come to chair pose, but we're just gonna move the arms around the body. So if you find that it's a little too much for you to hold chair and do that, feel free to come up to standing as well. So as we're ready, feet hip distance apart, go ahead and drop the hips, arms reach high, Uttanasana chair pose. Squeeze the knees in as if you're trying to hold a block there. Squeeze the legs out as you're trying to squeeze the lower band out. Reach through the hands. Bring them more in front of you now. Bring your hands together, palms touch. Bring the backs of the hands to touch. Now bring your hands behind you. Try to clap behind you. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, reach forward. Repeat this motion 4 more times. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward, then we take a forward fold. From this forward fold, take a moment to bend the knees once more. Tap the hands behind the heels, lift the chest, Uttanasana chair pose. Shift all the way into your right heel, left leg reaches up and back, thunderbolt. As we inhale, reach the hands high. Exhale, thunderbolt. Last time, inhale, reach up. Exhale, thunderbolt. Transitioning for thunderbolt down to your twisted lunge. Left hand drops, right hand lifts. We're transitioning to our side plank next. So left hand comes underneath the nose. Right leg goes back. Side plank here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Keep moving through the hips. Breathing in. As we exhale here, come through the plank. And this will go ahead and roll the hands over towards the left side of the mat. Spin the legs over towards the right. And then slowly reach left hand up and over. Coming through, reverse table. Option here for blocks, option here if you don't want to use them. Lift up, reverse table. Squeeze the glutes, lift up, chin towards the chest, then 4 rounds. Exhale, scooch back, hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale, scooch back, hover. Inhale, lift. 2 more times. And after you're done, we'll meet on the ground with the legs long. Then as we get the legs long, we're going to bend our right knee in this time. We're going to hug the left hand around, right hand reaches up and over, twisting on this side, rolling the shoulder back, lifting up nice and tall. Flex that left leg, breathing in, breathing out. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Inhale, take your gaze back forward. Let both legs go long. From here, we're going to find that forward fold once more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Holding a foot ankle or shin, whatever you have accessible. And let the breath come and go. And slowly as you inhale, release back up. We're going to reverse over, coming into our plank once more. As you find the plank, thumb or forefinger pressing down,
Then from here, shift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Thumb or forefinger are really pressing down. Push down through the arms. Lift through the tailbone. Think long spine here. Bend the knees if you need more of a long spine. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Inhale, gazing forward. Exhale, feet come to the top. Chair pose. As you find this chair pose, go to the other side. Start to shift the weight to your left leg. Shift into the right leg. Shift the left leg back. Go ahead and find your thunderbolt, or whichever leg. I think we're supposed to get left leg now. We find our pose here. Inhale, lift up. Yeah, left leg forward, right leg back. Finding your thunderbolts. Inhale, lift back up, high crescent. Exhale, thunderbolt last time. Press the weight down. Now, if you need to, take your hands to the thigh. Push through the hands. Lift the thigh. Lift the chest. Press against the thigh. Pulling the right hip forward. From here, drop the right hand to the mat. Left hand lifts up, twisted lunge. Different way to transition. Breathing in. Breathing out. Right hand down to the mat. Bring it a little more to the middle. Left leg tips back. Coming through. Side plank. Finding your side plank. As you breathe in, breathe out. Slowly transition back to full plank, both hands to the mat. Walk both hands over towards the right side this time, as we take our heels towards the left, spinning down into a seated position as we find our reverse table. So option here to bring the blocks once more. Now this is the last time we're going to be doing this, so option here for reverse plank as well. So inhale, lift the hips. If you want reverse plank, walk the heels out, point to the toes, lift up. Same thing, as you exhale, swing back, lift up, walk your legs back to reverse plank if that's your choice. 4 rounds, your choice. Taking the inhale, we lift, exhale, swing back and push. Use that core. Looking great, Meg. Option here as well to keep the chin towards the chin towards the chest, if that's going to be hurting your neck, to let it come back. After those 4 rounds, we'll meet in a seat. From here, go ahead and just take your gaze forward. Go ahead and spin back around. Let's look back to the front of the mat. We're going to come back to that Lilasana work. So, last time that we're going to be working on Lilasana. So from here, bring your blocks to wherever you want them to be. Option for Lilasana is this. So if you have a Lilasana down and you're able to lift and hover, maybe you start to work on swinging legs forward and swinging them back. Try to dangle and kind of swing back and forth. Option. If you're still working on Lilasana and you're like, I really want to feel the core work here, press down, lift up, and keep using those knees into the chest. Or press the tops of the feet of the mat and use that. So go ahead and take about a minute or so to play around. And then when we're done with this, we'll meet in child's pose. So take your time, start to work with what works best for you. And if you're like me and pressing into that block for so much, my hands are like, ooh. Awesome here. So it might help as well if you try to lean forward ever so slightly. So maybe take the block slightly behind you to lean down, to lean forward to help get that lift. Awesome here. Great. And for the last little bit here, let's give it maybe 2 more tries. Try to hold it for a few rounds of breath each time. Feel everything pull in. So pull through the belly button, really pull in. Feel everything kind of like pull together. Pivot bone and ribs trying to pull together. Wonderful work. And after this last round, we'll meet in child's pose. Let the arms go nice and long. Hands are planting firmly into the mat. So take a moment here to press the thumb or forefinger down into the mat in this child's pose. The thumb and the thumb side of the wrist joint is going to be the more stable side of the joint. The wrist side is going to be the least stable. So give a moment to press the thumb or forefinger down. Notice how that feels. Now, maybe roll yourself over to the pinky side of the hands. Roll the weight into the pinky side. Notice how that might feel. Now go ahead and bring it back through center, the weight. Great. From here, we're going to find a puppy pose. So to press into your shins, bring your knees back a little more underneath the hips. You want to keep the hips over the knees, walk the hands forward. All you're doing is just melting the chest towards the ground, puppy pose. Option here to do it with the blocks. This will give a little bit more dimension and depth. So I'm going to rest my wrist and my arm on this. As I reach myself forward, I'm pressing actively on the block. I'm pushing down as I'm trying to push back. Feeling this into my lats, feeling this in my armpit area, the chest. Breathing in, exhale, I melt the chest towards the ground. We'll be here for a few moments. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. As we inhale, we just walk the hands slowly back underneath the shoulders, pushing ourselves up. From here, we are going to swing the legs around, coming into a seated position. We're going to let the legs go nice and long, and we're going to let our legs go out to a V. Now we want to concentrate here on the orientation of the pelvis. So we want to push down through the arms, point the tailbone slightly back and lean forward. And I'm leaning down so that my sit bones are firmly on the ground. And now I'm fully situated on my pelvis. I'm going to flex through both feet. I'm going to inhale, reach high. Then as I exhale, I'm just going to lean forward, coming to a wide leg forward fold. And maybe this is where I stop. If you're able to come all the way further down to the ground, that's great. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Just let yourself feel in this pose. Maybe you kind of sway a little bit side to side, start to settle in a little bit deeper. But keep flexing through the toes, let them be shining towards the sky. The more the toes are pointing towards the sky, the more of the inner groin you'll be able to feel. And then your next inhale, roll yourself back on up. We're going to let our right leg come into the left into a check mark shape, coming to Janu Shirsasana, so head to knee pose. Flexing through that left foot, reach up nice and tall. Square over that left leg and fold. Holding the foot angular shin wherever you have accessible. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Just allow yourself to rest here for a moment. Let the breath be steady in and steady out. And slowly inhale, lift yourself back on up. We're going to take the revolve variation of this pose. So we're going to take our left hand inside of the leg. I like to let my hand kind of go down the leg, holding onto like the inside of the leg. I'm going to swing my right hand up and over. And reach towards my left foot. I'm reaching the crown of the head and my hand at the same time. And just let yourself rest here, feeling that right side body stretch open. Breathing in, breathing out. Trying to pull our left ribs more underneath with that elbow against that left leg. Then as you inhale slowly, Lift careful, lift back up. Go ahead and let your right leg go long, left leg come in. Flex through that right foot, we're gonna do the same thing this side. Inhale, reach up, square over the right leg and fold. Holding on the foot, ankle, or shin. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Maybe this is a good time for you to reflect on the sensations of the body, what you're feeling, just being aware of how things are moving and stretching. Taking about 3 more deep breaths in, long breaths out. Then slowly as you inhale, lift yourself back up to center. Bring your left arm this time inside of that. So your right hand inside the right leg. I'm going to again use my elbow on that leg to pull my right ribs underneath as I reach my left hand long and up and over towards that right foot. Keep reaching through the crown of the head, reaching through the arm. Get long on that side body. Feel your left ribs start to open, stretch. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Then very slowly inhale, lift yourself back on up to center. We're going to bring both legs to the center of the mat. Soles of the feet are going to touch as we work towards body compression. So maybe you can readjust your pelvis here. So again, my tailbone trying to point back, lifting up through the spine. Finding this position, I'm going to move my hands underneath the feet. I'm going to squeeze my glutes together to let the knees come a little bit closer to the ground, lift through the crown of the head. Maybe this is enough for you, and if you want a little bit more of a stretch, you bring your elbows to point backwards as you start to bend through the elbows, reaching through the crown of the head. Keeping the back nice and straight, we're not going to round here, and just find a point where you can pause. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. One more deep breath in here. And as you exhale, slowly lift yourself back on up. Help your knees up to meet in the center. And we're going to work ourselves onto our backs. So from here, make sure you're about halfway to the mat. Lower the chest to the ground. Keep the knees bent nice and long. And we're going to walk the right leg in. Keep your left leg, and we're going to pick the ankle up, cross over the right knee. And maybe this is where you stay for your supine pigeon. Or maybe you want to just press that down to the side. Maybe pick up through that right leg. Flex through both feet as you really press that left knee out. All options here for you. Maybe you sway left and right. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Maybe you're going to sway left and right. Maybe you close the eyes. As we wind down the energy of the practice, give yourself a moment to, again, tune into the breath, the sensations of the body. Feel the shoulder blades pressing into the mat. Feel the sacrum, low back pressing down. Eventually, you're going to feel your right leg come down, left ankle on crosses. Both feet are planted as you take your right ankle up and over the left, switching sides. Again, finding what worked for you on the other side, maybe it's different on this side. Explore this supine pigeon. Maybe you make small modifications according to how you are feeling right now. You have agency and choice in your actions. Finding the breath in, finding the breath out. Taking about 3 more breaths here. And after that third breath, we'll find both feet planted on the ground. Go ahead and let yourself take a little bit of windshield wiper here, knees to the right, knees to the left, nice and gentle, nice and slow. And eventually find yourself back to center. We're going to work through some bridge poses here, so walk the feet close to the sit bones. Feet should be about hip distance apart, so that's 2 fist distance. Hands are going to plank down on the mat. Knees are going to be pointed nice and high. As you inhale, press down through the heels, lift the hips up, bridge pose. Use your glutes to lift the hips, press through those heels, breathing in. And then exhale, roll down the spine. As we lift into a bridge pose, imagine you're squeezing a block between the thighs. We're going to do this a few more times. As we inhale, press down, lift up. Bridge pose. Hugging that imaginary block between the thighs. Lifting through the hips. All the ways in the shoulders here. All the ways in the heels. Breathing in. Breathing out. On your next exhale, lower to the ground. We've got one more bridge pose left. As we're ready, press down through the heels, lift up through the hips. Allow yourself to maybe take the bind underneath as you roll your shoulders underneath. Pressing through the heels, lift through the hips, press the bind towards the ground. Using that to get a little more lift here, breathing in and breathing out. 2 more breaths, breathing in, breathing out. Last breath in, keep pressing through those heels. Then as we exhale, lift the heels and slowly roll down the spine. And then as you come down, hug your knees into the chest. Give yourself a moment to rock side to side. Massaging out that spine as we begin to very slowly bring your hands out to a T. Bring the knees over the hips, shins over parallel to the ground. Bring your knees towards the right. Your gaze can come towards the left if that's comfortable, but come into the supine twist. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in here, breathing out here. Giving yourself several more breaths here, allowing yourself to relax and kind of just let go into the mat. Feeling yourself just like relax. Trying to avoid tension in the body. And very slowly inhale your gaze back to center, knees come follow. And slowly take yourself over towards the left. Maybe the gaze goes towards the right, maybe they don't. Shoulders are pressing firmly into the mat as we just let ourselves rest here in this supine twist. And allow yourself here to just relax. Try not to force the twist. Just let gravity hold you down. Then as you inhale, gaze comes back to center, knees follow, hug those knees in tight to the chest, rocking side to side here as we transition towards a happy baby. Knees go nice and wide, feet come to plank onto the ceiling. Maybe you hold on the foot, ankle, or shin as you kick through the arms, kick through the legs, you pull down to the arms, and try to get your tailbone in contact with the ground. If you're struggling with the tailbone, if it's hovering, maybe you drop your hands to your knees instead. And just give yourself a moment here to once more relax. allowing yourself to take any final motions that you need to complete your practice. But otherwise, we'll find ourselves into our Shavasana, legs nice and long, arms by the side. Taking a deep breath in and a long breath out. Releasing any of the tension in the body. Coming back to focus in on the breath here. Maybe even considering our theme this week of Shani, one of the Hindu deities that is responsible for justice, but also for giving bad luck to those who need to learn a lesson. So ask yourself, what difficulties have occurred in your life that have provided you the opportunity for incredible growth? Or maybe even it wasn't a bad experience. Maybe there was something positive that happened that allowed you the opportunity for immense growth. Thinking of the scales of justice, things can go positive or things can go negative, or they can be equal. It depends. Starting to take a deep inhale in, a long exhale out. Beginning to invite movement and energy back into the body. So you wiggle the fingers and the toes, maybe making some motions with the ankles and the wrists. Then very slowly reach the arms overhead, coming into a full body stretch. Then as you exhale, the knees come in for a good squeeze. Maybe you begin to rock side to side, eventually rocking up and down the length of the spine, coming through to a seated position with your eyes closed, rooting down through the sit bones as you lift up through the crown of the head, as you bring your hands through to heart center. Giving yourself gratitude for being here today, for taking the time for self-care, for moving with attention, for breathing into the body, and existing in this present moment. Mindfully, we bring the thumbs through to our forehead center, and we bow forward to seal this practice. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, and perfect peace. Thank you.